Hi everybody, this is Annette. Welcome back to my channel. Well, today we're going to be creating a beautiful Tibetan bracelet. This is with synthetic turquoise beads and some Tibetan style alloy pendants and spacers. And we are also going to need some elastic cord that I have here. So anything that fits on the little hole of your beads as well as your spacers, that's what you're going to need. You don't necessarily have to use these types of beads. You can use whatever you have on hand. Right. So we're going to use 10 of the bigger spacers, or of these spacers. You're just going to need 10 spacers. You're going to need an additional 6 spacers and an additional 5 round beads. Also a charm of your choice. In this case, I'm using the lotus flower, and you're gonna need 108 beads of your choice. Okay, so we have at least 2 yards of cord, of stretchy cord. I really don't need this much cord, but because I don't know how much I'm going to be using for my actual bracelet, I'm going to use the entire thing first, and then we're going to adjust as necessary. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this charm through here. Then the next thing, the way I'm doing it, is I am putting a round bead on each side. Okay, it's going to be like my center, and then I'm going to do a smaller spacer, and these are like solid spacers, as you can see. They're really pretty. Let me do that. Okay, and then I'm going to drag this down, and eventually I'll just move everything, but for now, since I don't know how much stretchy cord I'm going to use, and this came with the actual kit, and I'm going to use the whole thing. So that's what we see first of all. So that's what you're going to see. And then the next thing I'm going to start doing is I am going to put a bead through each side. Okay. One on one side, one on the other. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put one of the bigger spacers. See how pretty that spacer is? I hope you can see that. On each side. Okay. I'm going to bring that all the way down. And this is how it's looking. Okay. These are super easy and simple. Some of these bracelets, if you want to make them a little bit different, you can also use regular cord and then do knots in between things. But I thought it would be easier just to do the stretchy cord. So that's what it looks like. And then here's the tricky part. On each side, you're going to start putting 9 pieces of bead. So start counting. So I just like to finish one side first and then the other. Okay, so I have completed my 9 on each side, and now I'm going to again put a big spacer in between both of them. And I've decided to stop the video for just 1 second, and I'm going to put some of this glue, and I'm going to let it sit there and dry. That way I don't have to keep cutting it over here the entire time. Okay, I'm back. So I put some glue on it, and if that doesn't work for the time being, then we'll try another method. But these are the kinds of things that you encounter that happen while you're making jewelry. So you're just gonna have to go with it. Okay, so the next step, we have put 9 beads, and then now the next step is to put 9 more beads. So I'm gonna grab one of the ends here first. Okay, and now we're going to put one of the big spacers on each side one more time. There we go. Okay, and now we're going to do another set of 9. And then we're going to put these 3 spacers together. So we have 9 on each side, and now we're ready to do our 3 spacers. We're going to do the flat spacer, round bead, flat spacer. Okay. We're going to do that for both sides. Okay. Flat, round, flat. Okay, and now we are going to put in 9 more beads. Okay, we're going to do a spacer on each side. And then we're going to do 9 more beads, and then after those 9s, then we're going to do 8 beads. So I'm going to fast forward again through this. Okay, so our 8 beads are in there, which is perfect. It seems to be we had extra beads. Okay, so we're done with the 8, and now we're going to put the rest of our spacers. We're going to do 1 on one side and 1 on the other side. And then what we're going to do for this last spacer, since the hole is pretty big and I want my knot to be in there, I'm going to pass it through one of the sides. Okay, and you have a lot of cord here left. I would hate to waste that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch this and I'm going to move it all the way to the end, just like that. Okay, now since I have done that, I have maybe a yard left here for possibly another bracelet if I wanted to do that, or necklace, or whatever you want to use it for. Okay, now I'm just going to cut this right here, and I left the rest to the side. Okay, now this is going to be a bracelet. So what happens is that we're going to go, it's going to be all the way around like this. It's going to end up being just like that. Just a beautiful bracelet, okay? So we have to tie it here at the end, but we have to make sure we don't tie it too hard. That way this has some wiggle room to stretch when you're going to put it on. So you don't want this knot to be too tight, okay? And I'm going to do an overhand knot, okay, for the first time. There I have it. I don't want it kinking on me. I want this to sit somewhat. See how it's all warped? I don't want it to do that. I want to soften it, because if it does that, it's going to pull on me when I have it on as a bracelet. So I don't want it to do that. So I want to go back and release it and make it as relaxed and comfortable, but I'm making it tight on the end to where it's not going to have too much wiggle room there. So you see, that's different. So that's what I want. Okay, so here we go again. I'm holding it in place. We're going to do an overhand knot. Okay. And on the second one, instead of doing 1, we're going to do 1 in, and again 2, and we're going to tighten that as tight as you want to do it. Okay, that is the knot that's going to go in here. That way nobody can see it. So I'm going to cut this extra. Okay, Okay, so now it's all in there. You don't have to worry about it, and you don't even see it on the necklace. So see how this end up being a necklace? You can use it as a necklace for sure, but it's really a bracelet. So let me show you. You can just look how pretty that looks. It's so pretty. I think it's a little bit too big for me, but let's fix that. Let's give it another loop here. That's the beauty of this. You can really adjust it to whatever you want to do, and it's perfect. Look how cute that looks. I'm going to move this one to this. There you go. That looks absolutely adorable. So I want to make sure I want to show you what to do with these beads. These were beads that did not go through the stretchy cord. No matter how I put it forward or backwards, it wouldn't go through. So you don't want to waste these beads because these beads are definitely something that you can repurpose for another project. So all you're going to do is you're going to take your bead reamer, which it looks like a file. It's pointy in the end, and then it has a rubber end. It's called a bead reamer. And you're just going to put it through the bead. And then you're going to go in circular motions or moving your hands back and forth, and that will file the inside of the bead, allowing you to put a cord or to put anything through it to do your project. So as you can see on the tip of it, you see like a little powder dust. That's because you are filing it like you're filing a nail. This, you're doing it on the inside of the bead. So that's what you're going to do with those beads. So don't throw them in the trash. Keep them. They're useful for a different project. So let's go over the actual count of the beads, okay? So you start with 2, then it's repetitive. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, and then 8 on one side and 8 on the other, because the first 2 beads that you put in the front complete the 9 and 9. Does that make sense? So there you have your 108 beads necklace or bracelet, which however you want to use it. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you loved this tutorial as much as I loved creating it for you guys. Give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, God bless.